G'day, g'day. It is Tuesday, the 4th of August 2026. We are looking at the daily chart for spot gold, and sideways action continues. No surprises there. Monday yesterday looks like we swept the previous day's low, so that was Friday's low, and closed well back above Friday's close. We did have that big gap up on the open. Price went down to check what the value was like around Friday's lows and rejected that, so that is bullish. There is now potential for price to at least target yesterday's high and this double high up here. Of course, price can do exactly what it wants to do. It can come back down and test this 4,000 level, but seeing that we sweep the previous day's low, there is potential for movement higher. No trades for me yesterday, but introducing this anchored VWAP from the New York Pit Open. Well, there was a nice little bounce. That was the first bounce. We'd sort of come across here, and then in the new day, we gapped up strongly. So that's with buyers strongly in control, wanting to be at prices well above Friday's close. And then we had this drift down during the Tokyo hour, nicely down to where Singapore and Shanghai opened, and we had a nice quick bounce off there. Selling in through New York. And we'll go into some of the news and the headlines. But also interesting, once we swept Friday's low, we have bounced from there and we were back above Friday's close. Key drivers at the moment, I mean, obviously there's a lot of news coming out this week. So just take a look at an economic calendar and you'll see what's coming up. The big one was obviously oil dropping so dramatically after Trump had really signaled that he was going to go very strongly against Iran with fresh strikes over the weekend. It was going to be bigger than World War II, and they'll be hitting them very hard. And US embassies all across the Middle East had issued warnings urging citizens to depart. Israel had raised alerts, and then nothing. Nothing came about that. They had then agreed to have a ceasefire. Everyone's urging him to pursue diplomacy, reopen the Straits of Hormuz. Iran is denying any formal negotiations are underway, so it's still very, very fragile. But on that, oil dropped dramatically. Dollar has weakened, and that's also to do with the joint intervention by the US and Japan into the yen to prop it up. Fed's focus at the moment, the ISM manufacturing PMI is coming out, and then we've got NFP at the end of the week. There's still, like, the World Gold Council's Q2 report shows central banks still buying very strongly, and you can see where they're buying around 4,000. So be very wary of that. Now, where are we today? Coming into Tuesday's Asian session, we will put in yesterday's high of the day, which pretty much happened in that first hour, which happens a lot. We've swept Fridays, so that's gone. These levels have been taken. It's good. Today's open. I've had a little gap down. So we open there. We'll take off this anchored VWAP now. We've got yesterday's anchored VWAP running pretty much, of course, near the point of control. Okay, we've got our volume profile zone quite low here. Still an untouched point of control and the value area low from back on Wednesday last week. We're right in the middle of yesterday's range, below the IP, above a dynamic value line. So this really is what I call the abattoir when you're stuck between these types of value areas. Dynamic value line is rising because of the late buying coming into the close. We can definitely take a buy from this value area high. We're above the lower value level, so we'll take a bounce. Lower value level and first file line are very close together. My favorite trade definitely today would be a buy, even a bounce off the VWAP, which is the value area high as well, to trade up into the daily open line or the IP and holding any runners perhaps to get to the previous day's high. But that doesn't always happen during Asia. They like to set things up and then finally move them in New York. So we'll be wary of that.